afternoon to all. So welcome to this class on shock waves. So today I think it will be the last day of module 1, and then from next class, so today we will finish shock waves and next we will move on to modern physics and quantum mechanics. Okay, so let us recollect what we studied in the last class, the two applications. Okay, so shock waves was used in several applications. Out of that, we studied how it was used in cell information to extract the cell information, and how chemical preservatives can be injected inside wood to increase the quality of wood for a long time. Okay. Yes. Okay, so today what we will do, today we will do two things. One, we will focus on the rest of the applications of shock waves, and also we will look at the construction and working of the Reddy shock tube. Okay, now shall we move on? Yes. So first we will look at, this is done. Next we will look at how shock waves are used in pencil industry. Okay, now before that, look here. All of you know, all of you have seen Rasgulla. Rasgulla, you know. So it
Yes,
is,
sir.
yeah, it is sweet. Okay, so it is a sweet. First, it will be spherical in shape, spherical ball. So once it is fried in water, next what you do, you immerse it in sugar solution. Okay, by simply dipping it in sugar solution, can it be served to others? No. Okay, but what you want it to be inside the sugar solution for as much as at least 1 day. If it is there for 1 whole day, then what will happen? The sugar, right? The sugar solution that is going to penetrate or get inside the rasgulla, and hence it will become very soft and very nice to eat as well. Okay, so every piece of such a soft rasgulla will have sweetness in it because of the presence of sugar in every piece. Okay, likewise, this is clear to you all. This part is clear. Okay, rasgulla, rasmalai, so all you would have seen that they would have been dipped in. It is not just dip and take it out. It would have been soaked. Soaked means what? Put in the solution for very long time, as much as 1 day or 2 days, and hence it will become very soft and it will be very nice to eat. Okay, with all these nice inspiring words, now let us look at, or let us connect, how is this concept of soaking connected with making pencil in the pencil industry. Okay, likewise, what does a pencil consist of? So you should have a wood. So inside a wood, the lead will be inserted. Okay, so for this to happen, what is the first prerequisite? The first prerequisite is the wood has to be very small. Sorry, not very small. The wood has to be very soft. So next question is, how do we make the wood soft? Okay, now therefore let us look at what is the problem or what is the difficulty that the pencil people who manufacture pencil in the pencil industry do to make the wood soft. And next question is what? How can this wood be made soft quickly? That's a question, right? So therefore now let us look at this. Okay, so I think before that, shall we play this video? Yeah. Okay, before that, let me just play this video. Look here. If a balloon is made to, if the balloon is made to explode in water, what will happen? So it will produce sudden disturbance or sudden vibration in water medium. That is what you mean by shock waves. Okay, what do you mean by shock wave? Make the medium to undergo sudden compression or expansion, or pass a sudden vibration in a medium. That is what we mean by passing a shock wave. Therefore, let us get a feel of that from this 10-second video. Okay, can you see here? This is an yellow balloon which is filled with air and it is placed inside water and it is made to rupture using a needle, knitting needle. So when it ruptures, you see how the ripples of, how the vibrations or how the waves are generated in water due to this explosion or due to this breaking of this balloon. Okay, let us see. Okay, can you see? If the balloon ruptures, it produces sudden disturbance or sudden vibrations in water medium. Okay, look here once again. Okay, clear? No, what do you mean by passing shock wave? Passing shock wave means make the medium to vibrate abruptly or adiabatically, or by some means it has to be it has to be subjected to high compression or expansion. Okay, so therefore that is what is going to be the motive in all these instances. So therefore first let us go to the first application of shock wave. Okay, so let us move on. Yes, so shock waves is used in pencil industry. How? Let us see. Now look here. So what is done while manufacturing pencils in the pencil industry? The wood what do we do? The wood has to be made soft. For this, what the people do? The wood is first of all softened. It is made to soft by soaking in a polymer at a temperature of 70 degrees centigrade for about 3 hours, and then it is subjected to dry. Okay, just that is what I was telling. You have, say, rasgulla is soaked in a sugar solution. So if it is soaked in, or it is put or immersed in a sugar solution for, say, as much as 12 hours, then the whole of sugar solution is going to penetrate inside the rasgulla or rasmalai. Okay, likewise, when this wood is exposed to or placed in a polymer is going to be in the form of a liquid. Okay, so at a temperature of around 70 degrees centigrade, and it is soaked for about 3 hours, then what happens? These polymers will penetrate or get inside the wood. Okay, generally it will take a lot of days to dry this wood. Now next question is, how can we insert or how can we push this polymer instantaneously inside the wood, and also how can we dry the wood quickly? That is the question. Therefore, in the modern process, what happens? In the modern process, using shock waves. Using shock waves means what? I showed you the example of a video where if you have a balloon filled with air placed inside water, if it is broken, it gives rise to sudden vibration in water medium. Likewise, now what is the medium here? It is the liquid consisting of the polymer. Okay, so using shock waves, the wood is first of all placed in a liquid, and when a shock wave is sent through it, means what? Make that polymer liquid, or make that polymer in the form of liquid to vibrate suddenly. Then what happens? The liquid gets inside the wood almost instantaneously, and it could be dried quickly as well. So this treated wood, okay, this wood which is treated with a polymer to make it soft, that will be ready for the next stage of production in the pencil industry without any further delay. So without using shock waves, if we adapt the traditional or conventional approach, then pushing the polymer inside the wood, and also to dry it, it may take as much as 6 to 7 days. Okay, so therefore this is the third application of how shock waves can be used in pencil industry to accelerate the process of drying and to push the polymer inside the wood to make it soft. Okay, once it is soft, then inserting lead will become easy to, it's going to be an easier deal, which can be dealt in a straightforward way. Okay, next let us look at the fourth application. So fourth application is, it is connected with the kidney stone treatment. Okay, so what does that mean? So first of all, let us understand the problem. Okay, look here, in our body we will have two kidneys. This is roughly the sketch of two kidneys which are there in our body. Okay, the left one and right one, they are one and same. Okay, so let me erase. Yeah. Okay, can you see here in this figure? Can you see here? I have just marked here. So a yellow color stone is there. There is an yellow color stone. I have just shaded it here. And that yellow color, can you just look on the figure on the right side here? Those big sheets, those are now shattered into pieces. They are shattered into pieces. So there are small pieces of stone. Okay, so this is a big stone that is formed in the kidney and that is shattered into pieces. Okay, therefore let us understand the problem. Okay, look here. So one of the, I'll just highlight here. Yeah. So what is the role of kidneys in our body? Okay, see, the kidney will act as a purifier or as a filter. Okay, what does that mean is, the kidney is going to purify the liquid content present in our body, which could be either we may drink water, or when you have food, so the oils that will come along with the food. So both oil and liquid or juice, whatever you take, that all had to be purified first. Only the purified, so who is going to be a purifier in our body? It is the kidney. Or who is going to be that filter? The filter is going to be our kidney. Okay. Yes. Next. So that purifier is going to be who? The purifier is going to be that kidney. Right? So when the kidney purifies, so what the kidney does, it will purify the liquid content in the body, and the purified liquid, it will supply to our bloodstream. And this purified bloodstream is what is going to circulate in our body, and hence it will always have a rich content or rich concentration of oxygen. Okay, for that all this to happen, blood circulation should be regular. The blood circulation should always be filled with a high concentration of oxygen. For all this to happen, the kidney should purify the liquid content present in our body. Now what happens? Over a period of time, okay, over a period of time, even if you have, say, tomato weekly twice in a day, okay, what will happen? These tomatoes that are filtered or purified by our kidney, it will all get accumulated at one place near the kidney. Okay, can you see in this figure? They will get accumulated near the kidney. Okay, then what will happen? They will form a solid lump. The density is going to be high, so it is going to form a solid lump, which we call it as kidney stones. Okay, clear? This is clear. This is what leads to the formation of stones. Now next question is, so where is the kidney stone? Kidney stone is present somewhere here. Next question is, how can we break this, or how can we remove this stone from our body? That is the question. Okay, so look here. Sometimes even the mucus, okay, mucus, so inside our nose there will be mucus, right? So sometimes when the mucus, when it accumulates, right, over a period of time, it can become a solid hard mass. Sometimes it can even lead to chest congestion. Okay, so that can be removed only by some other mechanism. Okay, therefore accumulation of something over a period of time can lead to that becoming a big solid object inside our body, which we call it as stones. Okay, this is where the stone is. Next question is, how can you remove this kidney stone from our body once it is detected? Okay, look here. So whenever a doctor has to give a treatment for the patient, so the doctor should consider doing surgery as a last resort, as a last option. It should not be the first option. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean is the doctor should doctor should see whether these kidney stones could be this could be shattered into pieces either using chemicals or using medicines or using the drug intake. If that doesn't work, then only surgery should be opted for. So therefore, a doctor is considered to be as a good doctor only when he does the treatment in such a way that for him doing surgery or operation should be the last resort, not the first option. Okay, clear? Likewise in the case of cancer also. So depending on the different stages of cancer, if the cancer cell happens to be the first or second stage, then they try to remove those unwanted cells by using medicines or by using tablets, which we call it as chemotherapy. If you use those tablets, then those unwanted cells will either melt or dissolve and they will get eliminated from the body. Okay, therefore the doctor should not immediately tear a person and then expose the unwanted cell to X-ray lasers. That should be the last option. Okay, likewise, now having identified the problem that the kidney stone is accumulated, the stone is accumulated in the kidney, how can we remove it without performing the surgery? So therefore, now look here, shock waves. Shock waves are used in a therapy called extracorporeal lithotripsy. So in this treatment or in this therapy, what they do, by passing shock waves, you will shatter the kidney stones into smaller pieces or smaller fragments, after which each of these smaller pieces can come out of the body smoothly through urinary tracts. Okay, what does that mean? So by passing shock waves, so you will try to, what do you mean by shock wave? I told, what is that? Pass sudden vibrations in a medium. Okay, so when you pass sudden vibrations near our stomach, okay, then what will happen? The stone is going to get shattered or it will get broken into smaller pieces, and these smaller pieces will come out through when we do during the natural urination process. Okay, clear? This is the fourth application of shock wave. The people are coming very late. EC8, why are you coming so late, man? Okay, pa. Now let us look at the other part. Okay, next. So 4 applications are over. Next, 5th application. What is the 5th application? This we call it as shockwave assisted needleless drug delivery. Okay. First of all, if a medicine has to be injected in our body, what the doctors do, generally they use injection, right? So they use the injection and then they prick, correct? Now what is this? What do you mean by needleless drug delivery? Needleless drug delivery means without using injection, you can still inject them. So needleless means what? Without using injection, you can still inject medicine inside a body. And how is that done? That is done by making use of shock waves. Therefore, this approach we call it as what? This approach we call it as shock wave induced or shock wave assisted needleless drug delivery. Okay, can you see here in this figure? There is a cartridge. A cartridge is loaded with the drug or medicine of interest, and it is placed very close to the skin of a person, right? Now look here, how does this work? Look here, by by using shock waves, drugs can be injected into the body without using needles. Okay, that is so. Therefore, this cartridge does not have a injection. There is no injection here. Okay, clear? There is no injection there. Now let us see how it works. Okay, let us see how it works. Okay, now what happens? Look here. The drug is filled into a cartridge and it is kept pressed on the skin, and the shock wave is sent through the body using the high pressure. Okay, can you see here? So here what do you see? Here it has been, this end has been exposed to the skin, the other end it is, so you are about to press, the doctor is about to press at the other end, correct? So this is what? This is the cartridge loaded with a drug. Okay, now what we do? Pass shock waves. Shock waves means what? Pass sudden vibrations in the body around the skin. What do you mean by shock wave? Shock wave means pass sudden vibration in around the skin. Okay, when that is done, what will happen? When sudden vibrations are passed, then what happens? The drug will enter the body directly through the pores that is present in our skin. Okay, pores means what? Our skin will have small holes. If you take the photograph of our skin, and if you zoom it under an high resolving microscope of that photograph, then what you will see, will find that there will be large number of holes, and that holes we call it as what? Pores. Okay, through those holes only, or through that pores only, sweat water is going to come out, sweat is going to come out. Likewise, what happens if I zoom this region? What happens? It will be filled with pores. On passing shock vibration around the skin, what will happen? The drug that is loaded in this cartridge, that will penetrate inside the skin. It will penetrate inside the skin. And what will be the depth of penetration? The depth of penetration is going to be around 100 micrometers, and the patient will not experience any pain. Okay, he will not experience any pain. On the other hand, if you prick a person, what happens? You will feel the pain. So in this case, what happens? So the person will not feel any pain. Okay, and what is the depth of penetration? Depth of penetration happens to be around 100 micrometers. So this is the fifth application of shock wave. Now what is the sixth application of shock wave? Okay, so this is clear, no? Depth of penetration. Okay, likewise, suppose I consider, for example, if I consider this to be a seashore, okay, so the damage or the magnitude of destruction that are caused by tsunami, it is measured by what you call, to what extent the water came and invaded the land. To what extent the water from the sea, they came and invaded the land. Okay, in some instances what happens, the water can come and invade over a distance of up to 1 kilometer. This distance can be as much as 1 kilometer. Water can enter or invade the land during tsunamis. Okay, for that we call it as what? That we call it as, so here we call it as depth of penetration. Here it is the distance through which the water was able to invade the land. So that is a measure of the magnitude of destruction that is caused. Here the depth of penetration is a measure of efficiency of this approach. Okay, clear? So this is fifth application is done. Next we will look at the treatment of dry bore wells. Okay, before that let us see how water gets collected in a bore well. Okay, look here, what is this? This is a bore well is drawn here. What do you mean by bore well? A small bore or a small tunnel is dug. Okay, now see, during rainy season, what is this? These all are place where mud is there, and this is what you see deep inside the core of earth. For example, this can be as much as some 500 feet. This depth can be as much as 500 feet. 500 feet of depth could be there. Okay, now let us see what happens. See, whenever it rains, okay, whenever it rains, okay, what happens? Water will enter the soil. When water enters the soils, can you see here? All these things are what? The channels. Can you see some lines are there? These are the channels through which water will flow, and after that there are chances that these water that has gone through these narrow channels, they can all get accumulated or get collected in some place. Okay, for example, in this figure, they all got collected in this place. Okay, now what happens? So when rainwater moves through these channels, so there will always be constant motion of water during rainy season through these channels. Okay, these channels. Now whenever water moves, along with what will happen, along with some big sand particles and stone can also move. Okay, therefore over a period of time, what happens, there are chances that there may be accumulation of big stones or mud that can occur in various parts of this pathway, water pathway. Okay, so all we are referring to at a depth of, what is happening at a depth of around 500 feet. Okay, now what is the problem? Problem is the following. So what is the problem? Yeah, water will be available in the borewells when water from feeder sources accumulates in the borewell through a number of seepage points which are porous. Okay, that is what I was telling here. That is what I was mentioning in my diagram. That is in the next channel. Okay, what is that? All these things will act as channels or source of water. Okay, this will act as source of water. Now, yeah. Now what happens? Sometimes such channels or seepage points or roots, okay, roots or channels, these may get blocked by sand particles. Therefore, the pores will also get blocked, clogging the pores. Clogging means it refers to solid lump that has been formed, because of which the entry of water gets denied through those channels. Next is what it has been observed. So how do you remove those? Pores? One is you can physically dig. And then clear. What is the other way? Other way is, in this medium, pass shock wave. Pass shock wave means what? Make the medium to vibrate suddenly. Okay, it could be either the vibration may be below, it may be directed below the earth, or it may be directed perpendicular to or towards the soil, whatever way it is. Okay, so if you pass shock wave, or when we pass sudden vibrations through this channel, what will happen in that case? What we'll observe is, so yeah, a shock wave that is sent through such a dry borewells will clear the blockages and regenerate the borewell into a water source. Just like same what we have seen in the case of kidney stone treatment. If there are big blocks or big stones that are there near the water sources or feeder points, or by past sudden vibration, what will happen? All these things will shatter into small pieces and water will start flowing again. So therefore, by using shock waves, the borewells can be regenerated to form a fresh source of water. So this is how the 6 applications are there that are connected with shock waves. Okay, next, now we will look at the construction and working of Reddy shock tube. Construction and working of Reddy shock tube. Yeah. Okay. So my thank you will come later, not right now. I'll close this. Then we will look at the construction and working of a Reddy shock tube. Okay, a Reddy shock tube is nothing but it is just like a syringe, or it is like a cycle pump, okay, which will have a piston attached to it. Okay, so prior to that, let us play the following video. Okay, so I've already played this, therefore let us relook it again.
Healthy, stay strong. Deliver fresh and healthy fish to your home. Order online at nanus.com. जब मुश्किल वक्त आया तब कुछ लोगों की सलाह ने हमें
Okay, pa. So look here. In this case, what you see is a balloon is filled with air, and then it is placed inside a water. And if it is allowed to rupture or explode by pricking a, by pricking an, by using a, by pricking it, okay, then you see that the air, of course, will rush out, but it will also produce sudden vibrations, right? Therefore, let us look this. So the balloon ruptures and it produces sudden vibrations in the medium. Okay. Now let us see what happens when we do the same thing using small pieces of small pieces of balloon pieces that are shattered here. Okay, let us look at that small piece, that if it is filled with air, how will this behavior going to be? Okay, these are small broken pieces of the balloon. So fill it with air. Take by taking a small part of it. Let us see if we rupture it, how does the water bubble, sorry, how does the air bubble move? Let us see that. Okay, can you see there? If that small balloon piece filled with air, if that is ruptured, then the column of air rushes upwards, right? Correct? No, the column of air ruptures, I mean it rushes upwards. Once again, let us look at those 10 seconds. See, when the balloon ruptures, the air rushes upwards. Okay, as seen in the video. Okay, so let us have this at the back of our mind in order to understand the working of Reddy shock tube. Okay, now what is Reddy shock tube? Let us get into those details. Okay, look here. What is a Reddy shock tube consists of? Can you see here in this figure? So this is a Reddy shock tube. It is made up of a stainless steel material, and this is of around 1 meter length. Okay. So what is a Reddy shock tube? Reddy shock tube is a shock tube that is capable of producing shock waves by using human energy. Human energy means by simply pushing the piston, you can produce shock wave. Okay. So what does it consist of? It consists of a long cylindrical tube with the two sections, and the two sections are separated by a diaphragm. Okay. That means somewhere here there will be a diaphragm. I'll explain this in my next figure. Next, its one end is fitted with a piston and the other end is closed. For example, there will be a piston here and this end will be closed. Okay. So this is briefly the definition of Reddy shock tube. Okay. So it is just like a cycle pump, or it is like a big syringe. Okay. See, sometimes while playing Holi also, to splash colors, people make use of piston, right, during Holi, while celebrating Holi. So likewise, what is this? This is a shock tube, or it is a Reddy shock tube. So it is just the generalization of, it is simply a generalization of cycle pump, but there are few technical features that are associated with this. Okay. Now let us move on to this construction of Reddy shock tube. Okay. Now look here. Can all of you see here? Yeah. Now let us look at the construction of the Reddy shock tube. Okay. Look here. The Reddy shock tube consists of a large. Okay. All these details are given here. Therefore, let me focus on only on this figure. Okay. What is a Reddy shock tube? A Reddy shock tube consists of a very long cylindrical tube, and it is made up of stainless steel, and the length of this tube is going to be around 100 meters. Sorry, it is going to be around 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters means it is equivalent to 1 meter. Okay. Next, what is the diameter of this tube going to be? The diameter of this tube is going to be 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters or 30 millimeters. Okay. Once again, I'll repeat. The Reddy shock tube consists of a long cylindrical tube, and it is of length 100 meters. The diameter of this cylinder or this tube is going to be 3 centimeters. Then it is divided into two sections. One we call it as driver section, and the other we call it as driven section. The two sections are separated by a thin membrane which we call it as diaphragm. Okay. This thin membrane can be made up of either a small slice or small piece of balloon, or it can be a small aluminum foil, or it can be made up of a small paper, and the thickness of that membrane is going to be extremely small. Extremely small means roughly around 1.1 millimeter. 0.1 millimeter means it can be roughly 1/100th of a centimeter. Okay. 0.1 to, so it will be somewhere between 0.1 to 0.9 millimeters. Okay. So next, apart from that, the driver section will be filled with a gas which we call it as driver gas. On the other hand, the driven section will be filled with a different gas which we call it as test gas. For example, there may be nitrogen here, there may be helium present here. Okay. See, in order to blow air in our two-wheelers or cycle, we obviously make use of nitrogen or helium. We make use of nitrogen. So the partial pressure exerted by nitrogen can be measured by digital pressure gauge. Okay, which is there. We'll come to that part. Now this is done. Next, one end of the tube is closed. The other end is connected to a piston. So this is where the piston is. Okay. The other end is connected to a piston. Piston is here. Okay, and this is the handle of the piston. This is the handle of the piston. Okay, so one end of the tube is closed, the other end is connected to a piston as shown in the figure. Okay, next, in order to measure the pressure exerted by the driver gas or test gas, a digital pressure gauge is mounted, and this is mounted very close to the diaphragm. Okay, next, there are two sensors, S1 and S2, which are connected in the driven section, and they are made up of piezoelectric crystal. Okay, they are made up of piezoelectric crystal. Okay, this is enough. And these two sensors are in turn connected to a cathode ray oscilloscope. Okay, so from cathode ray oscilloscope you can see the waveform or some measurements can be made. Okay, this is about the construction. What is the construction? The Reddy shock tube will consist of a long cylindrical tube made up of stainless steel material. It's going to be about 100 centimeters long. Then the diameter is going to be around 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters. It is divided into two sections. One we call it as driver section, other is called as a driven section, and both of them are separated by a small membrane which we call it as diaphragm. Then one end of the piston is closed, the other end is connected to a piston or attached to a piston. Then digital pressure gauge is mounted to measure the pressure exerted by the gases, and it is mounted very close to the diaphragm. Two sensors S1 and S2 are connected in the driven section, and they are in turn connected to a cathode ray oscilloscope. Next, look here. Now the distance between the two sensors S1 and S2, that is known. That will be roughly around 70 millimeters. So by knowing the distance and by knowing how long it takes for the shock wave to cross this region, you know the time. So from the time, so distance by time will give you the speed. So once you know the speed of the shock wave or the speed of the object, by comparing it with the speed of the sound in a given medium, you can measure or find Mach number. Okay, so construction part is done. Now we will look at the working part. Okay, so in another 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the working part is going to come to an end. So in order to understand the working part, again you just need to have at the back of your mind how the bubble moves when the balloon is ruptured in water. So if you know that, then the whole concept can be understood. Okay, therefore how does that depend? So it hinges on the following, it depends on the following. So understand how this air column moves when the balloon piece is ruptured. Clear? No? So this knowledge is what, this visualization is what we are going to apply to our problem. Okay, let me pause. Yeah, this is done. So let us look at the working. So this is done. So full screen, get the pen mode. Yes, pen is there. Yes. Okay, pa, just 3 minutes will finish. Okay, what is the working? Okay, what is the working? Okay, look here, the working part and all is given here. It's also there in my notes. Therefore, let us look at this working. So what we do, first look here. The piston is pushed very hard. Okay, by the way, look here, the pressure of the driver gas is going to be high when compared to the pressure of the test gas. Okay, so here the pressure of the driver gas is going to be very high. Okay, that is how you can load by using this pressure gauge. Here the pressure exerted by the driver gas is going to be high. here it is going to be low. Okay, now understand what happens. If we push this piston very hard, what happens? This diaphragm will rupture or break. If it breaks, what happens? This driver gas is going to rush in the driven section. Okay, so just like how when the balloon was ruptured, the air bubble was rushing upwards. Here the driver gas is going to rush towards the right hand side. That is, it will be moving towards right hand side, and it is going to interact with the test gas. Imagine that the driver gas is going to move as a straight line as shown in the figure. Okay, this I call it as what? Shock wave. Okay, so when it moves, as the shock wave moves, what happens? It will compress the test gas to a high value. So when it compresses, what will happen? The test gas, the density, temperature and pressure of the test gas is going to become very high. Now as this shock wave moves towards right, what will happen? It is going to get reflected from this other end. Therefore, it will get reflected back. Okay, when it gets reflected back, what happens? The test gas is further subjected to high value of compression. Okay, therefore, now what are the things that happened? Was when the shock wave was moving. It heated or it compressed the test gas to a very high value. The arrival of the first shock wave, that will be sensed by the sensor S1. Next, the reflected shock wave, which we call it as secondary shock wave, that will be sensed by the sensor S2. Therefore, by using this cathode ray oscilloscope, from the cathode ray oscilloscope, we will know the waveform of the two waves. Okay, the waveforms of two waves. So from this, you can measure the delay. We can measure the delay of the two. By knowing. So from the cathode ray oscilloscope, we will know the time taken by the shock wave to travel this distance. Therefore, that distance by the time taken, that will give us what? That distance by the time taken, that will give us the speed of the shock wave. Suppose I denote it by Vs. Okay, now what happens? Vs, if you take Vs by speed of sound, if you compare that speed of shock wave with the speed of sound, that will give us Mach number. Okay, and many people have tried this. So many engineers and many people across the world have tried using the Reddy shock tube, and they found that you can push using this piston, you can generate shock waves, and the shock waves can move in such a way that the Mach number is going to be anywhere between 1.5 to 3. Okay, so high values of Mach number can be achieved by using this Reddy shock tube. This is about the working of Reddy shock tube. That's all. Okay. Okay, so I thank you all for your valuable attention. So if anyone has any doubts, you can